Aloha and welcome again. I just moved. I went right before I hit the button to go live. I touched my screen and started doing this. I'm like, oh, no, oh no. Okay, yes. And the dogs all are like, we're here. We're here. It's time for treats. Aloha and welcome, gang. It is Aloha Friday. Aloha Friday. Here we come. Oh my God, I'm so happy for Friday. I know, I hear you. So do they, unless Crisp is working the way it should be working. And how are y'all doing? Gang, this today, I'm really excited for this subject. It came out of actually people asking for it during one of the other lives this week. And I, on a whim, did something I haven't done before. And I went into Discord and I asked people for their feedback. And we've been over in Discord for the last, what, gang, 20, 30 minutes? Well, maybe even an hour going back and forth with comments and stuff like that. So this is something that I suspect a lot of us are dealing with. And Burden, I just saw your comment here. In fact, let me pull this up so I can share that. Let me see. Where did it go? I know, Cassie, I see you. Can we make a series out of this topic? I'm thinking we need to do that. I'm definitely, and I haven't even started the subject yet. I'm really getting the feeling this needs to be a subject that we turn into some level of a series. I know we're going to do a series on addiction at some point also, but I think this one, there's so many of us who are having issues with invisible illnesses, chronic illnesses, things that not everyone can recognize. Okay, a lot of us are sitting here on YouTube because we are dealing with these and it affects our day-to-day life or things like that. So, yeah, before I even get into saying hi, I know I haven't said hi to everyone yet. I saw that comment and I was like, yeah, I think that would be a good one. So, yeah, so as we go through this here, you're going to see as I say hi to people, I'm going to bring up some things. Actually, I may not bring up there. I know you guys put in chat what illnesses you're dealing with. I don't want to necessarily bring that up for everyone to see. People can read it, but it's still privacy issues and I think it takes it to another level. But if anyone does say anything from here on out, I may actually make a comment like, oh, so-and-so is dealing with this or that or whatever. So just so you know about that, I don't want anyone saying anything about their health, because even me, when I talked about the pulmonary hypertension for me a few months earlier, it was like, okay, I know some people know I deal with it, but I've never really talked about it. So thank you, Nicole. I just saw you saying I hide nothing. So, and actually, I love that too, Nicole. She's saying I hide nothing, share away all questions. And that's how we help each other. Because a lot of us are dealing with the same things. I bet you there's a lot of people in here dealing with fibromyalgia, okay, with autism, with, okay, all sorts of different diabetes, all sorts of different things. And if we can help each other, it makes a huge difference. So real quick highs to everyone first. Actually, Sherry, I am going to share this one because I know you've shared this with a lot of people. First of all, hi, Sherry. I actually consider it invisible. Not an illness, but invisible. Yeah, no, it is definitely, yeah, we have disorders, we have illnesses, we all have things that just make a difference on how we react in life. Okay, and people will many times judge us based off of that. So, and time, I'm happy you were able to join in today. Thank you for sharing that out the other day. And thank you so much. And I'm happy you made it. Yeah, oh my gosh, these dogs are being ridiculous today. And there's Miss Nicole. Hello, my dear. Let's see, where we go. We've been talking in chat like crazy. So I'm like, okay, who was in Discord? Who was here? So yeah, Burden, like I said a second, yeah, we're definitely going to have to talk about this a little bit more. Maybe even go to the point of having a panel discussion on it. Because I think there's a lot of people who can, yeah, have fun with, oh, I see here, Talmater. Yeah, I got 3 of them. You want one? No. I love my dogs. My dogs are my kids. So, La Princesa. Yeah, and this is where this one sits most of the time, right behind me. So, oh, you're going to come around. You just like this treat. They haven't had this one in a while. So, La Princesa, hello, my dear. And, hey, how you doing, my dear? Welcome back. I love it. I love it when I get to see people coming back and hanging out, becoming part of the community we got going here. Red Rock, Angie, my little karaoke partner here. By the way, I need to set up a members only karaoke stream. Game karaoke fun night for members only. We just hit our 1 month of having members, so I need to do that. I've been promising that, and I need to follow through with that. So, hey, Mary, welcome, Mary Yanton. Welcome, Mary. Aloha and mahalo. Oh my God, you guys are horrible. Your 3 dogs are just ridiculous. And let's see, Princess Mary, Seal. How you doing, Seal? Okay, RRR's dealing with an invisible one also. I'm not sure how many of these came in once I started and I gave the warning, so I'm being careful with saying anything out loud right now. Who else am I missing here? Anyone else that... There's Tomater. See, now I can see it bigger compared to my other toe. Okay, welcome, Tomater. Oh my God, I just got it all together. Okay, sorry, I'm slow. I'm slow when it comes to figuring weird things up. Yeah, I'm really weird. Farku, you're new here. Welcome. Yeah, the dogs are saying welcome. I don't know if Chris was cutting them off, but welcome, my dear. I'm happy you joined us. And I hope I have... Oh, Christola was able to change her name back. That was good because poor Christola, as many of you guys know, YouTube has changed it where we cannot change our names routinely. So a couple of us used to change names for just fun's sake. Okay, well, yeah, in fact, I almost had myself up as Bop 3 based off of the other day. So, hey, Night Elven, hey, NY, hope you are doing it. You know what? I'm going to just give them a whole treat. That might help. And Sky Maiden. Ooh, I missed a bunch of people who came in. You know what? YouTube must be sending out all the alerts. And in the bushes. Hello, in the bushes. I didn't say hi to Sleuth. I didn't. See, you can get the fun cantina dance. You didn't say hi to Sleuth. I didn't say hi. Okay, sorry. I'm really losing it. I have not had... Oh, wait. I'm lying. I was going to say I did not have caffeine today. I did have caffeine. Okay, let me know. In the bushes, is the volume loud or soft, or are you having problems or anything like that? Let me know, and I can play around with that. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Sky Maiden, thank you. Love you so much. Thanks for joining. Oh my God. I still get this weird feeling every time I see a green thing pop up in chat. All of a sudden I'm like, oh shit, what did I do? Oh, okay, I'm good. Thank you, Sky Maiden. Welcome, my dear. Okay, if I missed anyone, Ramblin' Rome, I think I missed Ramblin'. Hey, Ramblin'. And if I missed anyone, though, I am sorry about that. I love you, though. I still love you. So let me switch this over to my banners so we can get started on this discussion. I am actually I have coffee here. I've got a Coke Zero here and my Baroka. I mean, if anyone wants vitamins and you just don't want to take them the other way, this Baroka is amazing. So I'm going to take one of those right now and see how it goes. It's back. Welcome in. Hey, I just saw you pop in, my dear. Welcome. So, like I said a few minutes ago, this subject popped up. Red Rock, the join button should be, you may have to go back to the home thing unless one of the mods is able to pull up my join link. Actually, I think I might have it in there. If not, because I just realized I may not have set that up. They might be able to help pull it up. If not, there it is right there. Grandma Sherry, you're too good. Damn, you're good. You're good. So if you go there, you can join from there. Thank you. I'm not used to having amazing mods like this, gang. The mods are the best. Okay, you guys are the best. So Yeah, when we talked earlier this week, I was like, "Hey, anyone have any suggestions?" And we had some people talk about suicide awareness. And sorry, I just realized I did not put my earrings in, so you guys can watch me put my earrings in as I do this. Um, so I was like, okay, that's one thing we can talk about. We've kind of talked about it to some degree in the past, but doing an actual live, another live might be very, very good because we have a lot of new people here. Another one was this subject, dealing with chronic illness, dealing with invisible illness. Okay, so many of us are dealing with, let me just, guys, without saying, you can, of course, anyone can say what they're dealing with also, but let's just do it this way, ones and twos. Put a 1 in chat if you have to deal with an invisible or chronic illness. Put a 2 in chat if you are one of the lucky ones who don't have to. Because I'll be honest, I was a 2 for quite a few years of my life. I'm now a 1. But you want to say hi, Cassie? You say hi? Oh, you just want to be held. Yeah, go get in your stroller. And nothing like having a stroller for your dog, but it works. It works. She loves it. Well, that and behind me. And I just saw a couple other people sneak in there. So Miss Werther's mom, love you and welcome. Welcome, my dear. There we go. We got a lot of ones. And yes, Grandma Sherry knows the nickname for this one behind me. This is the Diva Pita. Well, this is the Diva Pita's butt. Okay, wrong side. Cassie is the Diva Pita, the Diva pain in the ass. That you are. She's my baby. So anyhow, welcome, Miss Werther. Okay, so there. Ones, gang. There's more of us, I think, that deal with this issue than those who don't deal with this issue. Honestly, gang. And there's so many different types, and that's the thing, which makes it even harder because there's all of us who are dealing with, invisible or chronic illnesses, but there are just as many of us who are dealing with different ones. Okay, out of all of us, very few of us probably are sharing the same type. It's a much smaller number. So what I wanted to talk about first was the difference between a visible and invisible illness. Okay, visible are the things, of course, that we see regularly. Okay, if someone has the chicken pox, you know it. Okay, there's no way of getting around that issue. If someone has had a stroke, most of the time, not all the time, because strokes can come where it does not affect physical. It could be more, brain connections and stuff like that. But in many times you can see that they are recovering from something. There's so many illnesses that you can see, even something like cancer. Cancer can fall into both categories, actually, because there's times that you totally can see it. It's something right in front of you. But there's times, that you can't see it because hair's there. All these things are there. All the difference is you're exhausted all the time. You're fighting something. But a lot of times we get into the thought that if it's not as plain as a cold, where you can see someone sneezing, you can see someone blowing their nose, coughing, things like that, it becomes harder for us to understand and accept because we accept what we see. Okay, there are tons of invisible illnesses. Okay, invisible ones can be things like fibromyalgia, something that just years ago was not even accepted as an illness, but we're finding out more and more, oh, hell yeah, it is. It is. And as the time goes on, it's kind of like mental health. At one time, mental health was and still is an invisible illness. Okay, but people played on with it like crazy because they couldn't see anything. They couldn't see. How can you see depression? If you're very, very close to the person and understand that person, you might recognize changes in them. But it's not like it's something overt that you can walk down the middle of, a CVS and say, oh, that person has depression there. That's our difference that we deal with. And then there are some cases, Rosalind, exactly. First of all, hi, Rosalind. Second of all, early onset Alzheimer's. Yes, big one there, because that one definitely doesn't come across, okay, where people can recognize these things. And chronic fatigue syndrome. I remember a time that people would say there was no such thing. You're making it up. Okay, it's a real thing. Lupus, Crohn's disease. Oop, the spelling there. POTS. POTS is a newer one that's starting to be recognized more and more. Okay, POTS deals with, as you're going from a laying down position or seated to standing, you can get very dizzy, and there's a bunch of different things with it. But those are symptoms that people don't actually see with them. Now, what I did not put here was the difference between chronic and acute. Okay, most of us know it, but I want to make sure everyone is on the same language here. Chronic versus acute. Acute is when someone is dealing with an illness that is right now. You break a leg. That's acute injury. It's something that is right now. You have a cold, you have pneumonia, okay, for most pneumonias, not long-term, but most pneumonias, you have an acute illness. Chronic is something that goes on and on and on, and most likely gets worse as time goes on. So arthritis, okay, certain things like, in fact, right now, okay, my issue with the pulmonary hypertension, chronic. It's most likely not going to go away. Okay, and yes, it can get much worse. Yeah, chronic does not have an end date. Perfect, Burden. Thank you for putting that down. That's a great way to put it. There is no end date. Your doctor's not going to be able to write a note out and say, okay, I'm going to take them off work right now because they have the flu, and okay, acute, he could say, yeah, the flu should be over within a week or so. COVID should be over within a week or so. Chronic, that's going to be going on for a long time. He can't give you all that stuff. So, Sherry, thank you, my dear. Thank you, my dear. So that's one of the few pluses to having a chronic disease like diabetes, is you can have medications that help you lose weight. I love it. So anyhow, thank you. Thank you, Grandma Sherry. I really appreciate that. So, so invisible, visible, chronic, acute. We kind of have our ideas of what those are now. So as we're going through this, when you're talking about an issue such as chronic illness, coping with chronic illness, coping with invisible illness, there were a couple things. When I went into my chat and asked people about stuff, there were two different areas that tended to pop up with. Number one, how do you deal with it as a person? Okay, how do you deal with all of these ideas of, well, you can't be sick because I don't see it? Okay, and then there was the other side of the group, which was, well, how do you respond to people who just don't get it? So two different issues going on here. So what I wanted to do is kind of go into this idea of the visible, okay, how you respond to people, okay? Because it is very important when we are talking to people. I was actually, you know what, this kind of backtracking a little bit, but the whole idea of invisible versus visible. Many people out there have a handicap. I mentioned this actually in Discord. Many people have handicap stickers. Okay, how many times have you been driving, okay, and you say parking's horrible and you're driving and you see this person go into a handicapped spot and you look at them and you're like, how the heck did they get that? Oh, come on, they're not sick. And you're looking at them and you're making these comments in your head. I actually have done that. Okay, and I have a handicap sticker. And I'm all, but I have done that because I try not to use mine unless I have no choice. And but then the day comes, I'm on the opposite side where all of a sudden I am looking at going into a spot and I see people look at me and I start thinking, oh, maybe I shouldn't go into the spot because people are probably thinking, oh yeah, they don't realize my oxygen's at 85% or something. Okay, they're just thinking, okay, in my head, oh, they're sitting there look at that overweight lady who's just going over there. She doesn't want to have to walk across the whole thing, or all these things. So that's what many of us who are dealing with invisible illnesses are dealing with. Okay, you're not sure. You have all of these feelings that are coming up, feelings of guilt, feelings of, oh, I'm a burden on other people, all these other feelings that you're dealing with. Red Rock, thank you. Thank you, and welcome to the Ohana. Welcome to the Ohana. Oh, yes. We're going to have a fun Ohana over here. That's for sure. And so let me pull myself back over here. And so when we are talking to people, okay, say people come up to us and we have taken a parking place that's handicapped, and you have the handicap sticker, but they're still like roll their eyes or something like that. Or you have, maybe you're not working at this time and you have a family member, you're at Christmas a few weeks ago, and the family member is asking you all these questions about why you're not working or why you couldn't come to this party. Okay, all these different things that pop up in just a day-to-day basis when you're dealing with these things. So how can you respond? So there's a lot of different ways, and I think it is very dependent on the person who we are responding to. Okay, and I would love to, as you guys have ideas, pop them up in chat and things like that. But and we are going to talk about kind of like 3 different types of people who will come up to us talking to us about these invisible or chronic illnesses. And but in general, what are some of the things that we can do? Well, first of all, is just educating them. You know, I mentioned already that we as humans tend to believe what we see. If we can't see it, we can't comprehend it. So it needs to be described to them. Okay, make it something that they can understand. So, for example, someone who has POTS, for example, okay, may get very, very dizzy as they stand up, and then walking to go to pick up their mail even becomes a problem. So you might be able to go through and explain to them when you're trying to explain what extreme fatigue is. Okay, you can go back and explain, well, okay, put it this way. Do you remember a time that maybe your alarm didn't go off in time to wake you up for work, and you woke up and all of a sudden you notice you're running 5 minutes late? So you jump up and you're madly trying to get dressed, and you get your makeup on, and you're washing your face and doing your teeth, and you're just rush on that, and you're completely out of breath as you're running out the door as quickly as you can, and you're trying to get to the bus stop, and as you're running down, you're noticing the bus is there, and you're yelling, please stop, stop, stop. And then they continue on. And that feeling that you have the moment you stop and you stand in place, and all of that energy is just like out of your body. Okay, mentally, physically, all those things. That is what it is like for me when I try to get up and walk up and pick up my mail in the morning. Okay, or that's what it's like when I have to go and have a 30-minute lunch and I have to walk to go to my car, or so many different ideas. But if you can explain it to them in a week, yeah, Seal, your heart goes from 70 to 150 in a blink. And some of these cases you do, POTS. There's some issues with heart. Okay, as you have issues with your heart, you run into problems where it's not beating at the right rhythms, okay, or the right speed. And it's just all over the place, and that affects how you feel. You may start feeling like you're going to faint or stuff like that. So trying to come up with a way you can educate them in words they understand. Okay, topic time, exactly. We tend to reach for the tangible when we are receiving on the receiving end. Has explainers, metaphors help with describing our personal fractured marriage. And trying to explain something to people, sometimes it's going to be enough. to explain what it truly feels like for you. Okay, because some people, that's what they need. They need to have the way of being able to say, oh, okay, I know what that feeling was like when I had that other day. Okay, when I was running late and I had to run real quickly. Okay, I kind of getting a better idea of it. Letting them know those things. There's also, I'll be honest, I didn't kind of write this on here. I think there's also something in our society where we, from the moment we are born, we are pushed to be do. Okay? Get everything done. We're always, okay, you've got to be successful. You've got to have the great job. You've got to get great grades. We're in this very focused society where success is defined by what we do, okay, for people to see. So that's one reason why you get people saying, well, why don't you have a job? Well, why don't you have, well, I could do a job. I could sit at a computer and do the job and all that. When, well, some people can't sit at a computer because it triggers off migraines that just truly become really decimating to their whole day. I mean, they cannot deal with anything and nothing works to get rid of it. Okay, so there's all these other things that go on, and us as a society, we're pushing, trying to figure out how we can help other people be as successful, and we're also judging people based off of those thoughts too. So another way you can educate a person is, you know what, if that doesn't get through to them by explaining how it feels, how does it feel to have a migraine, for example? How does it feel to get dizzy when you stand up? How does extreme fatigue feel? Things like that. Is share articles, because some people, that might not be the way they learn. They may learn by reading the down dirty symptoms. Okay, they may need an article. So having some articles on whatever it is you're dealing with can truly help, okay, in figuring out how to explain it to others. Because you have this stuff saved already on your phone, where if you're talking with someone and they seem interested, but they just can't seem to grasp, you can help share that. Yeah, Red Rock, this chat is amazing. This is a great chat, Red Rock. It really is. Don't feel bad if you have to cut people out. This is probably, I should have put this near the end, because I always believe we should try to help a person understand as much as possible. But there are going to be people in our lives that just don't get it. They don't get it. They're seeing life from their point of view. Okay, whatever is covering, remember, okay, Rosaline will be one of the first ones to remind us about this. Domestication. Domestication, going back to the 4 agreements. Okay, in domestication, we are raised and we grow up taught by our parents, our teachers, our friends, neighbors, things like that, as to how we're going to see things. And some people are just, they're never going to understand. Okay, they've grown up to believe this is the way life should be, and nothing you say is going to make a difference to them. I keep watching your guys' comments about colonoscopy in there, and I got to go in for my first one, and I keep putting it off, and I can't. I got to schedule mine. So, but I promise I won't put it in Discord. I promise. No pictures in Discord. You guys can keep them on the Christmas cards. So I had to make a comment on that. That was great. So, but yeah, it is okay to, if you have someone that you're talking to and you're realizing that they're just not able to understand where you're coming from, you need to be taking care of yourself. Okay, when it comes down to it, we have to look at us and our own mental health, physical health, our well-being before anything else. Okay, even before taking care of other people. Those of you guys who are caregivers, you know what this is like. If you're not taking care of yourself, you cannot take care of whoever it is that you're caregiving for, because you need to be in a good place for that. So if you're finding someone who is just truly not allowing you to be who you are, and who is always coming down on you for who you are, you know, you need to remember those boundaries. Do you need to have a boundary in place? Do you need to let them know, okay, this is fine, but we're not going to talk about my health issues anymore? And if they keep pushing it, you make the decision at that point that, you know what, this is not the relationship for you, because they're not listening to those boundaries. Topic time. Anyone with a chronic illness should never have to be in a position of explaining their pain. Visible or invisible, they are only accountable. Yes, exactly. Okay, pain is real. We're even finding, okay, as Bird and I were talking about last week, emotional pain follows many of the same, okay, brain neural pathways and all as physical pain. Pain is real. Okay, and people having to explain their pain does not make sense. Okay, think of it this way. Okay, and actually, I'm kind of getting ready to go into that area here. Do you have to always see something to believe it? Okay, if you have someone, okay, those of us who are religious, we don't see, but we believe. Okay, take it to something realistic. Again, we'll bring it back up again in a few minutes. But if someone has a migraine and they tell you they have a migraine, you usually believe them. Can you see the migraine? No. If a person is, sorry guys right now, but for the gals, if you're having cramps galore, can people see those cramps? No. But people believe you. So why is it they won't believe you for other pain? Okay, is it fear that, you know what, if you're in this pain, it's a possibility for them at some time? There's a lot of reasons, and it is good to understand their reasoning. But at some point, they need to just be there for you. It's not about guessing, is this true, is this not true? I mean, it's not like they're asking you to give money to them or stuff like that for what's going on. They're just asking for your support. Okay, and belief that they are hurting. And so let's talk about, we kind of just went through some of the ways in dealing with these things. What I wanted to do is actually take it a little different, and then we're going to end up at the end going through taking care of yourself through this. But we've all had people who have questioned our invisible illnesses and chronic illnesses. Okay, and they vary. There's a wide range of that type of person, right? Okay, I counted at least 3. There's probably many, many more than that, but I tried to narrow it down to the 3. The first of which is the empathizer. Okay, you're talking to someone about your lupus, for example, and the person is just like, oh gosh, yeah, I remember what you're talking about, maybe being exhausted. And they start saying, oh yeah, I remember a couple weeks ago, I was working so hard at work and I was exhausted. I was going to sleep every night at 7 o'clock. And they love to compare. They come in there and they kind of look at everything you're saying and try to come up with a way they can empathize with you, but that's usually through this idea of comparison. Okay. Now, initially you're like, oh hell, no, give me a break. Okay, I know what my exhaustion is like. It's not like I got to go to sleep. It's a totally different thing. But this person doesn't get that at that point. Yeah, you can get very frustrated at them. And but one of the great things about these people is these are the people who will be there and they will support you. Once they understand what's going on, they have a level of empathy. They have a level of really being there for you. And that's what they're trying to be to begin with. By comparing and trying to put themselves in your shoes, they're trying to do that from the get-go. And they are your future support. If you could get them to understand what it is you're going through, they will stick by you. Okay, they will be there to listen to you when you're having a really, really bad day. And so a lot of times what they need is just the education. If you can explain without cutting down their they're trying to understand at the same point by saying, no, you don't get it. It's so easy for us to do that. When they say, oh, no, I know what that's like. When I was this age, I had the chicken pox and I had all this go on. It's so very easy for us to get frustrated. But if we just take a deep breath and say, I can understand where you're coming from with that. However, yeah, no, just so you know, yeah, a lot of times the pain that I have, it's actually to the point where even movement hurts. Okay, someone would be typing on a computer and they couldn't. I can't even type because my rheumatoid arthritis is making not only my fingers hurt so bad, but they're stiff. And, or for example, I've done this to people before. We used to do this in nursing homes when we were trying to talk about what it was like, because a lot of caregivers will do this. Okay, so you'll see a CNA or something come in who you're training them, and they're talking about how, oh yeah, this, and oh yeah, I had this one time and this was this way and da 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 and all that. So we put them in the shoes of the elderly person. You talk about the biggest chronic illness of all, getting older and all of the things that comes with it. So we would actually put on glasses that would make them see their vision the way a senior citizen does. For example, okay, when you're younger, your peripheral vision is way back here. You know, when you can take your hand, look forward, there, I can see my hand now. When I was younger, I could see my hand back here. By the time you get to, okay, far old age, especially if you have dementia or stuff, it can go down to this. And that's the reason why seniors, when you put your hand over them, can jump and stuff. They don't see you until you're this close. And so we put glasses on them. We'd put gloves on them so they could feel what it was like to try to pick up a drink and drink when they can't just do that. And so if you can do those types of things with the empathizer, with the comparer person, to try to get them to understand what life is like for you, they're going to be with you. And they won't leave you because they really do care from the get-go. And that's what they want to do, is be there for you. The next group, though, is the fixer. And this is the group that, I'll be honest, I fall in this group. I'm a fixer. If you can't tell due to this channel, I'm a fixer. Okay, I'm always trying to figure out how I can fix people, how I can help them out and everything. And you know what? That can be good. But it can also be very rude at times, okay? Say you're talking to a friend and you've got, okay, let's see, chronic fatigue, okay? And you're talking to them about it, and the fixer is going to be like, well, you know what? You need to try taking vitamin this. And if you add on this medicine, I read this medicine really works really good for that. Okay. And, oh, I heard if you go outside and you walk, okay, rather than staying in your house, it makes a big help, and you'll feel better about yourself. You'll feel better in general. Things, they're giving you all these ideas, trying to help you, and they are trying to help you in the only way they know how, which is, I want to fix you. I want to make you better. And Angie, that's every doctor I talk to about my 50. Oh, I see. Oh, wait. Yeah. Yeah, the one-upmanship, Grandma Sherry. Oh my gosh, it's nuts. It's crazy. Every Thanksgiving you go to a family dinner and it's like one-upmanship. It's try lunch or dinner at a nursing home, and it's hilarious to listen to the one-upmanship. It's so much fun. And so this type of person is going to try to solve things. They're gonna try to make sure they give you all these ideas. Okay. Oh, I like that comment topic. They need an ear, not a mouth. Could this be why we have two ears and one mouth? I like that. Actually, I like that a lot. So what can you do with Fixer? Okay, we've already said by just talking about what they do, they care. Okay, because you know what? If they didn't care, they wouldn't be giving you all these suggestions, right? Okay, so they do care. But the thing is, they're so focused on trying to fix it for you that they're not realizing the best way they can help you is just by being a friend and listening. And so one of the things you can do many times is just tell them thanks. Okay, thank you. So, oh, you know what? Thank you. I hadn't heard. You may have heard about this 5 million times, but depending who it is, if it's someone you may never see ever again, okay, thank you. You know what? I've got a doctor's appointment coming up in a couple days. I'll mention it to them. And, you know, they don't need to know that you didn't mention it to the doctor, do they? No. Okay. Or maybe it is something you want to follow up on and figure out what's going on with it. And if it's someone that is a fixer who is close to you and you hang out with regularly and stuff like that, you know, honestly, I don't see anything wrong with you telling them, thank you so much. You know what? That's a great idea. I'm going to have to talk to my doctor about that. And say, yeah, you know, one of the biggest things in the world that I really need right now is I just need someone to understand where I'm coming from. Okay, I'm working with my doctor on all these things, and they're trying to come up with ways to help deal with the symptoms as they pop up. But sometimes I just need a friend who will listen to me. And if you come about it in that way, they want to help. They do want to help. And you're giving them an idea on how they can help by just being that listening ear. So things you can work on within that group. However, next we come to the big issue, the one that most of us get so frustrated with and deal with regularly on the outside, and that is the denier. This is that person who drives you absolutely crazy. Oh my God, thank you. Nicole, thank you for the gifted. Hey, yes. Who gets welcomed in? The Boot Hill Sleuth. Oh, welcome, Boot Hill Sleuth. Welcome. And yes. Okay. I'm Don Nicole. Thank you so much, my dear, for the gifted. You know, that was one of my favorite things about Twitch. I used to do Twitch, listen to Twitch all the time because of gaming and all that. And I loved the gifted memberships. Those were my favorite part by far. And it was just so much. So thank you so much, my dear. And also the denier is the person who is going to always tell you, oh, but you don't look sick. You really don't look sick whatsoever. I mean, yeah, well, you're getting so well right now. Okay, the headaches must not be too bad because you're doing really good right now. Okay, or, well, at least it isn't, at least it's not cancer. Oh, at least it's not COVID. Well, at least it's not. There's always always trying to do those things. Nicole, you gift your son's Twitch stream. Yep, that's it. I actually Twitch. What I love is the Amazon free link. So that's my favorite part of it. So the denier is the queen or king of always pointing out how wonderful you look. And the problem is, though, a lot of times, okay, let's be realistic. Many of us have a place in us that is a people pleaser. Okay. A lot of us, we've talked about it in chats before. We are people pleasers. And we don't want people to see us as invalids. No one wants to be seen as an invalid. Okay. I hate it when I do park in the handicap thing because my breathing is off that day because of freaking VOG or whatever it is. Okay. I don't like it. There's a reason why at one time they wanted to put me on oxygen when I was at my worst. And I was like, well, you can order the concentrator. I'll keep it at home. But no, I don't want to use oxygen. We don't like to do those things. And so what do we do in those cases? We pretend that we're healthy. We pretend that we're okay, even if we're not. And there's so many of us who run into that position. Aha, Miss Crystola's a 1-monther now. Yes, I can't believe we hit 1 month already. Some of you guys are going to get new little icons next to you. In fact, we've got a dog and a bird now out. So slowly we'll get all of the animals out there month by month. So what do we do in these cases with the denier? Okay. Love you, my dear Robbie. Mwah. Love you, my dear. When you are dealing with a denier, oh, you don't look sick, or oh my God, I don't know how you can be having a problem, okay, with doing that because you look like you'd have no problem and blah 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 blah. All that stuff. Okay, what can you do in that case? Say hi to everyone again. She's bugging me. You're bugging me like crazy. Okay, I'd start off, okay, be realistic with them. Don't try. Yes, we like to hide the things and act like we're okay and all, but if you're not okay, don't fake that you're okay just to make someone else happy. I definitely like Sherry's idea saying, well, F you. Yeah, that I do definitely like. I probably would have a problem saying it myself, but yes. And also, but yeah, no, there's a fair point. And that's going to come into this whole thing at this level with the denier. Okay, maybe start with explaining what hidden symptoms are. Because it's funny that the person who's telling you, oh, you look so fine, you don't look sick at all, and stuff like that. Well, fuck, give me a break. Have they never not, okay, felt sick and not looked sick? Okay, have they ever had migraines or a headache? Okay, you can go back and tell them, well, you remember the last time you had that headache? Okay, no one can see that. Why is it that it's so hard for you to accept that I have pain? Why is it so hard for you to accept that I feel like I'm going to fall asleep after standing up and walking around the block? Okay, because of whatever the issue is that you're dealing with. Okay, I said this one earlier. Sorry, Robbie, okay, and any other guys here. But girls, okay, all of us have had cramps in our life. Okay, I can guarantee you not a single person could see my cramps. Oh, they were real. They were real. Give me a break. There's a reason why I wore those little, okay, Fahrenheit things and took Motrin and stuff like that. Those were real. Okay, every single gal in here who's ever had cramps knows what it's like to have something that is hidden. What about guys or girls who are exercising and you've had a really hard day of exercise, and that next day maybe you've had a couple days off or something and you go exercise, and that next day after you had a really hard leg workout or something, your legs are just like jelly the whole day and they hurt and all that stuff? Okay, no one can see that, but it's real. It's definitely real. And also remind them of what other hidden symptoms they may have dealt with in their life. Because the moment they start realizing, oh, yeah, I've had that happen to me before, might start making sense to them. Burden, because theirs comes to an end, ours is continual, long-term, and they can't get how someone is still complaining. That's a good point. That's a good point. Okay, cramps last a week, Matt. Well, no, not necessarily. Anyone who's dealt with that knows that you get PMS, you get all sorts of stuff. And, but okay, if you're hurting after exercising, it's going to last only a certain amount of time. They do weird walk after a leg day. Yeah, it's amazing some of the things that they may have been doing with the way they're walking. But anyhow, and, yeah, it's, they think, well, you know what, and that is a great point, Burden. Okay, everyone, they're like, well, yeah, but mine's done in a couple days. Yours continues doing it. And it's recognizing that, Michael, hey, Michael. And wait, I'm not sure if that's a Michael or another Michael. So whichever Michael it is, hi, my dear. And also, see the fun of when you know many people by the same name. And also, so with that, letting them know what those things, then you know what? Educate them. Try. Any relationship is worth trying to save before you say, well, fuck you, and walk out the door. Okay? Every single relationship is worth it. So let them know, okay, about what it is you're dealing with. Okay, let them know that, yes, we've gotten to the point where many of these diseases, you can see something in the brain that is that's happening, that's different from another person's brain. You can see differences in, okay, for example, if you've got a problem with your back, okay, or your neck, you're going to be able to see there where, okay, you've got a compressed disc or stuff like that. Okay, people may not see it by looking at you, but you know what? You get an x-ray, they're going to see it. And that's going to affect with pain for a long time. And let them know how you feel. I think, honestly, sometimes people are these deniers because they don't want to see someone else hurt. In the way a fixer is trying to help you by giving you ideas on how to fix it, a denier, yeah, Crystal, I don't think it's the stretch one. I agree. I just saw that too. So that I'm like, it doesn't matter. I still like Michael's. Actually, I like that name. Michael's one of my favorite names. Never told anyone that on YouTube, but it is. And, but I think a lot of people, when they're the deniers, they are denying and telling you this in hopes that, well, maybe I can get this person to actually forget about the pain. If I tell them, oh, you look fine, and I'm supporting them maybe in a different way. Okay, so let them know how it feels. Let them know, well, thank you. I'm happy to know that you don't think I look sick or I don't look like I'm having problems. However, just so you know, I am. Okay, it is hurting. Okay, right now, in fact, I'm hurting. Okay, I'm not right now. I'm feeling good right now. But yeah, right now, okay, at this area right here, I've got just this area. It's pushing, okay, and explaining it out to them. Okay, so they're actually realizing that you start feeling worse and worse. And let them know. When you question this, it makes me start thinking that you're telling me that I'm crazy or that I'm making things up. And I'm not making this up. This is real. These are things that even my doctor knows is real. Okay? Or even if your doctor doesn't know yet, because God only knows how much doctors don't know. I was just talking to someone from this community the other day, okay, about genetic counseling and how I should have BRCA because I've got 3 generations ahead of me who have all had ovarian or breast cancer. And yet BRCA is not showing up, even though every single doctor swears I should have it. And it's because they have not discovered a gene that's still there. Someday they will. But does that mean that it's not real now? See, think about where we were with medicine hundreds of years, even decades ago. Okay, health. Okay, this is not health related. But I remember a time where Pluto was a planet. I remember a time that we did not know what killed the dinosaurs. This has all happened in our lifetime. Okay, I remember a time that chronic fatigue syndrome was not recognized. Okay, that POTS did not exist. All these things. So where are we going to be 10 years from now? Does that mean that whatever we're dealing with now isn't real? No, it's real. And so let them know how you feel. Okay, because guess what? If you let them know how you feel and you sit there and give them the education that they need, and yeah, Grandma Sherry, Pluto is Mickey's dog. And also, if you give them all this information and all, and they're still giving you issues, they're still playing this game that makes you question yourself all the time, there's your boundary. You're setting up, you're going to go back to one of the earlier videos we've done about boundaries, and you're going to read up on boundaries and setting up boundaries, and you're going to follow that procedure and let them know that, you know what, this type of discussion is something that is not helping me whatsoever. I appreciate our relationship, but I'm going to ask from now on, we do not discuss this. And if they continue doing it, time to move on. You don't need a friend who does not believe you. You don't need a friend who does not listen to you when you ask them, please don't do this. And so there's no problem with doing that. What did I miss here? Nicole, I have a friend that researched my illness when we met and continues to research my prescriptions, procedures, etc. It means all the world to you, and she is in this chat. Nicole, that is amazing. And it makes the difference when someone cares about you enough to really, burden. I just saw the rest of the comment come in. But it means so much because you realize that person cares enough about you to take the time. I have a friend who was in this chat also a few minutes ago who sits there. They know how much I have rosacea. Okay, really bad rosacea. Okay, it's one of the few reasons why I do use a tiny bit of a filter at times, because even with tons of foundation on, it's really bad. And that friend helps me at times with ideas. Well, have you tried sleeping with this on have you tried taking this? Okay, they're doing it because they care about how. Okay, they realize it upsets me. Okay, it's something that I have issues with, and they're trying to help me out with those things. It means the world when you have a friend who's willing to do those things, and it's coming out of the right place. And so yeah, you move on. If they're not going to do it, you move on. You find where you need to be for yourself. And so now we've kind of talked about dealing with different types of people and stuff like that. And like I said, I think we're really going to make this into a series because a lot of people had a lot of thoughts on this. What I didn't want to do is go through, I was just going to talk about that. But then as I got talking with more and more people, I was realizing, you know what? Dealing with it emotionally ourselves is half of the battle. Okay, it's not just what other people are saying, it's ourselves. Because a lot of times when it comes down to it, even if you've got some asshole who's still causing problems for you, saying, oh, you look fine. Okay, it's all in your head. Okay, or oh, yeah. Some will go as far as saying, oh, it's all in your head or something like that. And the way you react is what's going to matter. Who cares what they think? Okay, it's how you deal with what they're saying to you that matters in the end. So I wanted to come back to this as the last portion of this live, talk about dealing with these things. What are some things that you can do to deal with it? So first off, I wanted to say just, we have so many expectations. Okay, we have the expectations others put on us, and then we have the expectations we put on ourselves. Okay, don't let those expectations control your mental health. Okay, if you're in a setting where, for example, you have this expectation that you're going to look totally normal, okay, and you're going to take care, okay, you're not going to let on to anyone that you are out of breath because of oxygen, okay, because of pulmonary hypertension or something like that. Don't get this whole idea that you've got to, this expectation that you're going to be perfect and look normal and stuff like that take over. Because then when you have to deal with other things, no problem, my dear Christola. DM me after, before Cantina about will do, my dear. And also, don't let them get you down, because those expectations, a lot of times when you can't meet the expectations for yourself or for others, that's when you start allowing them to affect your mental health. We were talking over in in Discord about how weight, for example, a lot of times people get this focus of what weight is, okay? And not just for those who are overweight, but those who are underweight. So they put expectations on people that, you know what, you can gain 10 pounds. Look how easy it is for everyone else in the world to gain weight. And you should have no problem putting on that weight and becoming a healthy weight or whatever it is. Okay. So you start getting yourself down about it. And it's all coming from the outside in. And we all know the more stressed we get about something, the more nervous, anxious, things like that, it just makes it harder for us to balance it all to begin with. Next, sorry, someone is upsetting the dogs right now outside. Develop relationships. So over and over, that's one reason why I really, right now, you guys in chat right now talking and everything, those of you who've been over, hey, Brandy, welcome, welcome. Oh my gosh, you guys, stop barking. And when we're in Discord, when we're in Facebook Messenger groups, things like that, we're developing these support groups. Okay. And a lot of times they may be on this subject, but then we break down and we start realizing, oh my gosh, I didn't know so and so is dealing with this. That's the same thing I'm dealing with. And we start getting these additional connections that make us closer to people. Maybe this person, like recently, there's someone from the community that I love talking with because she's a little older like me, and I can talk about, okay, we have a lot of the same life things that are going on. And I can talk about what's been going, okay, changes that are happening in life or stuff like that. So having that relationship, whether it's with a friend, with your family, groups, going on to Facebook. Okay, say if you've got an issue with Crohn's disease, going on to a Facebook group and finding others that share the same thing so that you can actually then come back and help each other when you're trying to figure out ways of help just getting through things. When I was dealing with gastric bypass, it's what I did. And people were able to help me figure out, how do I get this protein in? What do I do with all these things? The next one's probably one of the hardest ones, I find. Stop feeling guilty. Let me ask you guys this. Put a 1 in chat if you guys feel, those of you with hidden or chronic diseases, ever get this feeling like you are a burden to other people? Get this feeling that you might be letting other people down because you can't do what they're hoping you could do? I think a lot of people do. Put a 1 if you do, put a 2 if you don't. I'm not saying everyone gets that feeling, but I think a lot of us, a lot of times do. We get these expectations, like I said earlier, the expectations that we're supposed to live in a certain way, and we're supposed to be able to maybe, okay, if you, a job, okay, I'm supposed to have a 40-hour-a-week job, and I should, okay, that I put extra hours in and all these other things, or whatever it is. Okay, I should be able to go to Disney World and not worry about having to, okay, take breaks every half hour or something like that. People shouldn't have to help me along the way. Okay, my husband or my wife should not have to worry about slowing down to let me keep up with them. Okay, a lot of ones there in chat. It's hard for us because we have high expectations of ourselves. We are our own worst enemies so often. Okay, because turn it around. What if it was your significant other? You would be telling them, you're not a burden. I love you. This is why I love you and I care about you, and that's why I do this. You would be telling them, but for us, we take it that way because we're worried about things. We're worried that we are not holding up our end of a bargain, or, okay, we're just not, well, if I just tried harder, maybe I wouldn't have to park in that parking place and I could walk from across the way. Okay, all these different things kind of start going through our head. We need to stop that thought process. We need to realize that we are doing the best. As long as you are, you know better than anyone else if you are doing the best that you can. You do know that. I know when I, for example, okay, during the Christmas holiday season where I did not need that handicap spot, and like I said, I usually will not take it, but the mall was completely busy and I'd been circling for 10 minutes and all of a sudden you see one open and you're like, oh, well, maybe I'll just go do that. You know when you're not doing your best. And you know when you are. And be happy that you're doing your best at what you can. Next, seek professional help for your any symptoms. Okay, I said professional health, but professional help for your health. And A lot of times we don't want to do the treatments that are being suggested for us for various reasons. For me, for example, I didn't want to walk around with an oxygen thing to carry around. Okay. Or my rosacea, I didn't want to go do it. And so I just stay at home rather than put, okay, heavy makeup on or something. Hey, Laced in Chains, welcome, my dear. So see your doctor, talk with your doctor, and recognize sometimes, because your doctor knows this also, so it's not going to be a surprise to him. Okay, your doctor knows that your symptoms, as something, say, like POTS, okay, may include things that are not related. You may have depression, anxiety, things like that. It's not tied to the diagnosis, but it's tied to living with the diagnosis. So if you have rheumatoid arthritis, okay, you may find yourself depressed because you're not able to do things that you wish you could do, okay? So you find depression sneaking in. So seek help for those types of symptoms. Don't just think, well, that's not a symptom. Depression's not a symptom, so I don't need to worry about it. Because it's part of living with these things. So be willing and open, because that's taking care of yourself. And that's what matters there. Let's see. Bob, if that's the case, I say to release the burden, say screw, but anybody. Aha. Let's see what we got here. Look for activities that bring you joy. Why would I say this? Okay, why would I tell people look for activities? Okay, if you're dealing with something like rheumatoid arthritis or Crohn's disease or stuff like that, why would I be saying, well, look for things that make you happy? Oh, they make you happy? It gives you something to enjoy doing? Okay, if you are perfect example of this, I see a lot of people here on YouTube that are dealing with chronic or invisible, debilitating, okay, illnesses. We may not see them, but they're very debilitating. I see that quite often. And a lot of them, many times, develop their own channels. I came across a channel in researching this of a woman who lives on a vent. She's on a vent her whole life. Well, not her whole life, the last 12 years or so, as I looked into her channel further. And so she's dealing with all these things. Okay, she's got disability, things like that. So she looks for what causes joy for her. And for many of us, YouTube is it. The ability to create a channel or to hang out in a chat with other people or things like that brings us joy. Now, please keep an eye, make sure you're keeping it with joy and not taking the other step over to where it starts tearing your emotional or mental health apart. Okay, we know that can happen also, but it does bring joy. Maybe going outside, maybe you can't go walking forever or anything like that, but you can go out and, okay, walk 100 feet and sit. Angie, yes, singing. Singing releases endorphins, serotonin, dopamine. There's a reason why I sing. There's a reason why, oh, in fact, I got to find it before Cantina, but I have a microphone hooked up to my phone whenever I'm driving, and I sing karaoke the whole time. Okay, because a lot of times when I'm alone in the cars, when my mind gets thinking and stuff like that, and I sing. Okay, there's a reason why we do those types of things. Drawing. What brings you happiness? Find those things so that you can have something else. Me doing my diamond painting. Okay, that's a biggie. Right there, me doing my diamond painting. It brings me so much enjoyment while I'm sitting there doing it. And it's something that I could share with other people, which helps me feel more like I'm following up on something, which is great. So, remember, you cannot control others. And this isn't everything in life, gang. Going back to your 4 agreements right here. Crystal, I'm not sure about that at times. I'm not sure. I still do need to. We need to do a members only karaoke stream. I got to get that set up. Rosaline knitting socks. Rosaline does amazing knitting. knitting socks. Find something to do so that it also keeps you busy, because I think a lot of times, my mom's right about this one thing. When you sit there and aren't doing anything, you can find yourself getting depressed. But if you find yourself using your time in a way that you enjoy and is rewarding, it fights the depression and anxiety. Okay, Sherry, your cats. Hey, they're just with you. That's why they're singing with you. And hey, Kelly, welcome, 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 Kelly. Hey, guys, stop barking. So we cannot control what other people think. We cannot control what other people say. Guys, this is in everything in life. It's so easy where we get down on ourselves. Oh, is JP there? Did I miss? I did miss JP. Hey, JP, my dear. And you betcha. I will. And you take care of yourself. Okay. I've been thinking about you a lot lately. So a lot of times we start hearing people say other things about us, other things about whatever. Okay. A person who's sitting there saying, well, you don't look like you're sick or anything like that. We hear them saying these things and we're like, but we can change it. We can make them understand what we're going through. Okay. I was the queen. I've said this before. When I was a little girl, I would not go to bed if my family and I were fighting. My parents literally had to say, okay, it's all okay, girl, go to sleep. Everything's okay. Because I just had to prove I was right or something. I don't know what it was. And but that's who I was as a kid. As I've gotten older and older, I'm realizing, you know what? I can't control what other people are going to think. Okay. So often here, especially YouTube, we're like, well, what if people start saying this about me, or they say that about me, or whatever? Well, yeah, you can go back and tell everyone, no, this is the da. And yes, there are times you're gonna definitely do that, because there are certain times that it needs to be said. But you're not gonna change or control what anyone is saying or doing. They're the only ones who have control over that. All we can do is accept who we are, okay, what we're dealing with, okay, and know who we are, okay? You know if you're in pain. Who the hell cares what Joe Blow says that you're not in pain? Well, how can you be in pain? Okay, who cares what they say? Okay, you're not going to change their thoughts if they're stuck on it. And unfortunately, that's just the way things are. Don't let their negativity bring you down, because that's what the aim is. 9 times out of 10, when they won't give up, when you talk to them and explain and it's still not changing, their only focus is to make themselves feel better, so they try to pull you down. Don't give them that power. You have control over your own positivity, your own belief in yourself. So don't give them the power over that. And pick your battles. So this kind of goes along with that last one. Okay, if you're sitting there talking to someone who is continually telling you that, oh, well, that disease is not really a disease, okay, like back when they would say chronic fatigue was not real or stuff like that. Okay, yeah, you're going to explain it for a while, but at some point, you got to make a decision. The same way you can't control what they think, believe, or say. You know what? Is it really worth the energy that you're putting into ensuring they agree with you? Or trying to explain something like Lyme disease? Yes, Michael, Lyme disease. I had forgotten about Lyme disease. That's a big one right there, too. And so it doesn't really choose. Is it going to make a huge difference in your life if that one person finally agrees and says, oh, okay, yeah, I agree with you, and then you move on? It's going to make a major difference in your life. Is it worth all of the stress that it takes to lead up to that, knowing it might never happen? Okay, those of us who are dealing with chronic disease, those of us who are dealing with invisible diseases, okay, we're dealing with needing energy. When you're in pain all the time, when you have debilitating fatigue and you're just trying to keep yourself in that good place, you don't need to be worried about expending energy for someone else on that. You need to, again, like a caregiver, you need to take care of yourself first. And then you work from there. JP, ADHD, yeah, exactly. And there's so many of us. Okay, like I said at the beginning, we did ones and twos. I think probably 99% of the people watching this right now are dealing with some level of an invisible or chronic illness. And it'd be nice if we could do this next thing. Be kind to ourselves, be kind to each other about it. Okay, does it really matter if people believe you or not? It's nice if they believe you, but does it matter? Is it life and death that they believe you or not? On the other hand, does it really matter if the person isn't really feeling pain? Because we all do know there are some people who tend to build things up higher than they are. I will be honest about that. We've all known that person. Okay, we've all known people that are that way. But does it really matter? Okay, isn't it better just to be kind to them and let them know that someone cares about them rather than sitting there and making them question things even more? And so things, stepping back and looking at that. And lastly, just spread awareness. Okay, educate others. Whether it's about yourself and your own illnesses that you're dealing with or illnesses that other people are dealing with. If you're in a chat and someone starts talking about, yeah, you know, so-and-so saying this, and this, and I can't believe it, they're complaining about something again or whatever like that, and you know what they're going through and what the symptoms are like and that it is okay, all those things, educate the other person. Educate. Knowledge is power, gang. Okay, if you can help other people understand what is going on, it may make the difference between that person saying something that hurts someone else. So I think, yes, you guys, would you stop growling at each other? You guys can't hear it, but they're growling back and forth. And so, JP, I'm happy you finally slept. I'm happy you got some sleep. So spread awareness, talk with each other, talk to other people, let them know what it feels like to deal with these things. Let them know not only the physical issues that you're dealing with, but the emotional ones that are tied to it. Let people know how they can help support it. And if they're not going to listen to you, that's fine. They weren't worth it to begin with. If they're not going to listen to you and if they're going to cut you down and they're going to upset you, it's not worth it. And Crystal, it just gets to a point where you say, I don't care, screw it. Okay, it doesn't matter whether you believe me or not. And you know what? Does it really matter if they really believe you or not if they just don't talk about it? Okay, because there are going to be times that you have friends that may kind of be like, well, whatever and all that. But as long as they're respectful of you, as long as they honor your emotions, okay, they honor your ability to be friends and to care about you. That's what it comes down to. If you ask them, okay, fine, if you don't want to believe me, you don't have to believe me, but I'm going to ask that we just don't discuss this anymore. And if the friendship is worth saving and all. So it's definitely something, this is one of those that really has gotten a lot of us. I know I mentioned at the beginning, Burden had suggested doing a series on this, and I think definitely next week. In fact, I'm going to say this right now. If you guys, before we go any further on this, if any of you would like to come up on panel next week and be part of a panel that discusses this, okay, ways that, okay, this has affected our own life, because I haven't wanted to tell you too many of my own personal stories because I'd rather that be when we all can do it together. And but if you would like to be up on panel and able to help and talk with other people about how chronic illness, about how invisible illnesses have affected their lives, okay, how other people can help them, okay, what would have made life different if people had done differently, please email me, thelocalmylife@gmail.com, or if you guys are on Discord, Facebook, you guys know how to get many ways you can get in touch with me. Because I think there's a lot we could teach each other. We can help each other with the knowledge that we all have. So if anyone would like to, and if I get enough people for that, maybe what we'll do is next week, Friday, we'll do a follow-up to this and just look at it from a individual point rather than all these other, okay, you follow this, okay, my bulleted list type idea. So, Christola, thank you for sharing the Discord. I did want to share about the Discord. My Discord is a combination of public and private. Everyone has access to a number of folders because there's certain things I want people to have access to. I want people to be able to go in there and get posters of the missing immediately. I don't want you to have to, okay, get a special membership or thing. No, I want you to have access so you can share those out. However, mental health is also important, and I want people to feel like they have a place they can come and talk if they have issues. Remembering we are not professionals. Okay, I'm no therapist. I'm no psychiatrist, psychologist, whatever. Okay, so please feel free to come in there, though, and talk. There will be, in the next couple days, members, just so you know, I am going to be creating a members-only folder that will be for members, so we can come and shoot the breeze and stuff like that and get to know each other as the local my family. And also, you're a magazine rat, get ready. Hi, JP. And also, so we'll do that. And yeah, definitely need to do a members only live so we can have fun with those. So, but before I go, actually, while I'm saying this, please, please, please think of your takeaway for today. You guys know what I do at the end of each live for mental health. I ask, do you have a takeaway from today? I mean, everything that we talked about in chat here, okay, the little banners, whatever. Is there something that you're going to take away and kind of fit into your life over the next week? And so while you're thinking about that, typing it in chat or typing it below in the comments section. And I did want to, first of all, say thank you to those who joined membership. I really, oh my God, I really thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you guys. Because I mean, yeah, no, this, Ohana's real. Ohana's real, and I'll just leave it at that. And, but Cantina is going to be happening tonight in 35 minutes. I need to schedule it. We will be here for those of you who are new. And I know there's a lot of newbies. Cantina, honestly, is just a place for us on Friday after a long work week. We just did this mental health live, which can be like JP just said, your brain becomes mush during it. It's even hard to come up with ideas and for a takeaway because your brain is mush. And but we just come and hang out. Anyone is welcome up on panel. All you got to do is show me who you are backstage so that I know it's on the up and up. And there's no drama. Just come here, hang out. Everyone welcome, as long as you're respectful to each other. We do have fun. We do definitely have fun. Who knows where the subject goes? I've given up on trying to track how our subjects go because they go all over the place and it's crazy. And also, and you might actually see Rosaline. I don't know if Rosaline will be available today, but she'll be sitting there knitting her socks. And also, actually, I need to do some diamond painting tonight while we talk. So what do we have here? Okay, let's see here. I just saw Angie will hopefully stay awake for Cantina. Yes, 3 cups coffee. Girl, that's, I just noticed the boost, the thing that I took, the Baroka, where was it? The one that I just took has caffeine in it too. So I'm in deep trouble, put it that way. It's going to be fun. So let's see, you've been to, yeah. You know, JP, we all have those shitty weeks, months, okay, years in some cases. But as long as you start putting into places ways of trying to get control of it, that's where the difference is. And knowing how you can go about doing that. And I can see you're doing that. So what do we got? Grandma Sherry, doggy bag. I can try to get them to understand, but I don't have to exhaust myself. Yes, that is true. Yeah, you can try, but you know what? You don't have to exhaust yourself with it. Crystola's takeaway, there are plenty of peers that let me know I'm not alone, and there are people who experience the feelings of non-validation of pain. Yes, we saw that just in chat tonight. I was kind of following along with the chat as I was talking at times, and you guys saw, none of you guys are alone with this. Rosalie has a new sock pattern. Yes, I can get to see it all. Yay. And Kelly, I was already sleeping, so let's hope I can stay up. I'm sorry, gang. See, this is the problem I have. Everyone goes live in the morning. Okay, while I'm sleeping. Robbie goes live. Sleuth goes live. Burden sometimes goes live. Usually I catch her afternoon ones, though. And I always miss everyone's lives, and I hate it. But I guess the Earth is this round sphere. I thought it was flat at one time, but I guess it's a sphere, so we have all these time differences. Yeah, and all, we'll see that. I do agree. I hope she will be there, but we will see. We will see. Oh my God, yeah, we're back to colonoscopy pictures on Christmas cards. Grandma Sherry's going to be designing them for next year, so everyone send their colonoscopy pictures to Grandma Sherry. She's going to be putting them on everyone's Christmas cards for next year. Okay, see how that goes. Sometimes family doesn't, so I'm usually talking to the cows at the, oh, you poor thing. Burton's takeaway is that we all may have different conditions and illnesses, but we are more alike than we realize. We really aren't. That is actually the perfect way to end this right there, because it's true. We all have different things, all of us, everything, whether it is Crohn's, lupus, chronic fatigue, eating disorders, all sorts of things. But in the end, we're all more alike than we are not alike. And so we aren't alone. We aren't. And we figure it out very quickly. Michael, Cantina will be starting in 32 minutes. So basically, every Friday runs according to the schedule because I'm a creature of habit. Yes, a big creature of habit. At 9 p.m. Eastern is the Mental Health Live every Friday. And then at 11 Eastern is when we start Cantina. So we will be set in 32 minutes if I don't knock over my drink while I'm holding it. So, yeah, I'm getting creative with drinks. Isn't that cute? I'm using a measuring cup as a cup. Okay, it works. You can pour, yeah, okay. Anyhow, I will see you guys. I'm going to post the link to Cantina. It'll be in Discord as well as on the channel. Guys, come up, hang out and chat if you don't feel like coming up on panel, and we'll just have some fun. Love you all. Aloha. Can you believe it? It's the end of the live, and there I'll be. Oh, they were being quiet. Someone was being quiet. Pia's being quiet. Wrigley, I don't know where Wrigley is. Oh, there's Wrigley there. So, love you guys. Say goodbye, Cassie. Bye-bye, Cassie. Bye-bye. Okay. See you guys later. I'm going to escape the kisser. Bye-bye. See ya. Aloha. Mahalo.